And the U.S. economy added 272,000 jobs for the month of May, beating economist expectations by a lot. The Labor Department also says unemployment ticked up slightly upward to 4%. The report comes as American voters say the economy is a top issue in the presidential election, now less than 5 months away. ABC News business correspondent Alexis Christoforous and ABC News political director Rick Klein join me now to break this all down. Alexis, what do these numbers tell you about the state of the economy right now?
We were expecting this report to confirm what we thought was happening in the job market, that there was this steady slowdown. Instead, it smashed estimates, defying expectations, adding more than 80,000 jobs than expected. Also, you noted the unemployment rate. The important thing there is, for 27 consecutive months, the unemployment rate was below 4%. That's the longest stretch we've had since the 1950s. So a move up from 3.9 to 4%, not a huge deal, but certainly it's a milestone because of how long we were below 4%. Also, April and March numbers were revised upward to show 15,000 more jobs than previously reported. So I think overall, when you take this in combination with wages, which again rose more than expected, up 4.1% year over year, I think we're going to have to wait a little bit longer for the Fed to hand us its first cut in interest rates.
You took my question, which was going to be a quick follow-up. What does this mean for the Fed? Everybody wants to know about those interest rates. Rick, this report, as Alexis said, it suggests the U.S. economy is still relatively strong, but consumer confidence is still well below pre-pandemic levels. So how is that affecting President Biden at the polls?
It's a huge drag on him because, by all accounts, as Alexis knows, numerically, anything on paper would suggest that this is an extraordinarily strong and durable economy that's defying expectations at just about every level. But the thing that I think consumer confidence is driven by primarily or fundamentally is inflation, and not just year-over-year inflation, but overall inflation. And the fact that prices are higher than when Joe Biden took office is something that is a fundamental fact that voters are going to be hung up on for some time. It's going to take a lot of not just convincing, not just jawboning. That doesn't work. You really have to drill down on this to see the differences. And as you can see in that chart, Joe Biden has a pretty good story to tell about the unemployment rate, about wages as well. But the inflation story, I think, is very much linked to the consumer confidence story, the interest rates being high as they are. That's all just been a drag on President Biden and makes this about the economy in a way that he does not welcome, despite the underlying strengths.
And Alexis, most of the job growth we've been seeing this year has been in government, healthcare, and hospitality. So what does that mean for the wider U.S. economy?
Those are the top three, and we've seen them month after month. But really, this has been a very broad-based job market where people are gaining jobs in lots of different categories, which is what you want to see in a robust job market. But, this report also comes as we got some reports recently pointing to weakness in the economy. For instance, the number of job openings falling faster than expected. There's been an uptick in the number of people applying for first-time unemployment benefits. And, to Rick's point, people still are feeling squeezed by higher inflation. We saw retail sales and consumer spending coming in less than expected. So I think that for the Federal Reserve, this becomes really tricky. Are we going to get that soft landing where the economy slows down, but not so much that we fall into a recession? Is it going to be enough for the Federal Reserve to want to cut interest rates or feel comfortable cutting interest rates? We were hoping it might happen at the July meeting. After today's report, some are saying it might not happen until at least the September meeting.
And Rick, wage growth came in at 4.1%, pretty high when you look at recent trends. But you said it, Americans are still feeling the pressure of high inflation. And you can see it when you go to the grocery store, which is where most people are getting, that sense. When they go out shopping, they go to buy goods. So what is the Biden administration doing to try to turn things around on that front?
Well, look, as a policy matter, there's not much that's going to change between now and the election. You're not going to get it through a paralyzed Congress. But as money continues to flow into infrastructure projects around the country, into healthcare investments, and the Biden White House hopes that people are going to feel better because they're going to see results. But a lot of this is just going to be about the political contrast. And I think trying to segment out the COVID era and who would get blamed for that, trying to depict what the reality of the economy under Trump was, that's going to be a big challenge. And I think it's a political challenge much more than a policy challenge.
All right, Rick Klein, Alexis Christoforous, thank you both.